Hey guys, morning. How's it going? So this really strange thing in programming that everyone experiences, literally everyone, but uh, but nobody talks about it because it's not really clear. Like not a lot of people like acknowledge it, so nobody talks about it. And so let me give you an example. If I'm coding right now, and I stop for 5 minutes to make a video, there is a disruption, right? So there is so my chain of focus is gonna break, right? So whatever I had been thinking, um, I might forget half of it. I might forget just little portion of it because I'm not writing it down. Okay, I'm not gonna write down everything that I think, right? Because it's here and I don't need to write down because I'm focused. But if I interrupt myself or someone else interrupts me or I stop writing code or thinking for whatever reason, the chain of thought breaks, right? We know that. Everyone knows that. So if someone interrupts you, there is a call, there is a Zoom call or urgent meeting, someone's dragged you into. Um, I mean, we all know that, right? This happens to every one of us. Whether maybe you're not a programmer, maybe you're doing something else, but it does happen. So what happens? What happens after that is the strange part. And I kind of know, just learned this myself. I didn't learn this, I just realized it. Is that when I go back to coding after the interruption, I think I think the present chain of thought that I have now after the interruption is same as what I had before. I think that, and I start writing code based on those thoughts. So what ends up happening is that there is just little change of direction, just teeny tiny. I won't even realize it, most of the time it's just so small, and I won't even realize it. So when I go back to writing code, yes, I'm writing mostly the same code, but like it kind of changes. It changes something after the disruption where I don't have all those thoughts that I had before, right? So if you had in your mind, if you had created instruction this, and you could literally write comments about this in your code, fine. But between those comments, there's little thing that happens here, and those little things you don't track down. If interruption, you interrupt yourself, and then you go back to the code. You can read the comments, but that little tiny thought that you had between those comments that's in your brain, you've forgotten about those. So that's what interruption does. So now I'll go back to the code and I think, oh, here I have the comment written down here, so it shouldn't be a problem, but it is a problem. That mental proper image, logical image. I don't know how to explain it, but the point is that if you're interrupting yourself, then going back to the code, you think you know where to pick it from, but actually you kind of dropped some of the thought that you had in your brain previously. So this is why when you work on something every day, like 8 hours, 10 hours a day, and then continue next day, it's not too bad. But when you work on something today and then pick it in the weekend, 3 days later, then it makes a difference. Even small interruptions make a difference. So I don't think anyone actually talks about this. They think after coming back from a little walk or that, they're gonna code better, which is fine. It works, but they also end up forgetting about teeny tiny things that were really important that only came to your mind after 2 hours of focus, 2 hours ago. Within that 2 hours of focused window, that's when those little details came to mind, and then you took a break, and then you pick and you think. um, you haven't lost any thought, you have. So yeah. So what I try to do is, if there is an interruption, the really important parts, the really important details. Actually, it's not even that. It's not even important details. It's like important thoughts that I had in middle of that whole thing. What I was doing. You don't write down your thoughts. That's also like weird thing. We write down the step by step. We write down the comments. Do this. Write. Um, Create a service class. Grab the data from the API. Da, 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 da. But there is little things in middle of that. Sometimes they are really important and you don't want to forget about them, so you want to write down the thoughts as well a little bit. You might say something like, I'm working on this API, I'm trying to get data from three different tables. I am getting the data from the first table, but for some reason, when I add the second table there in the query, the data is not returned. So maybe it could be a problem with the join, or you could be another clause that you might have. You could be another if condition at the bottom. So just write this little thought down, and when you pick it tomorrow, you'll be better off. Anyways, yeah, that's the video for today.